Hey everybody, it's Digital Dreamer, trying out something a little bit new, filming outside just because it's not too bad a day out actually. But today I wanted to focus on talking about the Vital Bracelet series. Now, I hopped on Vital Bracelet right away as soon as it came out. I got the Pulse Special Edition. I did end up giving the bracelet itself and the special DIM card away to a friend, just because I figured he'd make good use of it, and then I replaced it with the version V. So the version V is what we're going to start with. Oh boy, that shows up kind of weird on this camera. Hopefully it's not like that when it's actually done. Anywho, there's a couple of key differences between them, but we'll get into that in a minute. This one had a couple of feature updates from the main one I am going to talk about right away. So, same physical build, it's got the same weird kind of goofy strap. I don't mind the strap on these. The closure is something I'm not a big fan of, the way it just pops in, because like you touch that a little bit and it's off. You can see I've kind of circumvented this on my BE by stealing the strap from a smartphone, or not smartphone, smartwatch band accessory thing. Alright, anywho, so a couple of main things. This is the spot where you would put DIM cards. This spot right here with this little removable plastic piece. On the other side we've got two buttons. We have a kind of like scrolling option selection button, and then this one you can hold down or pop to select things and then hold down to return back to the main screen. Here we have the charging port, micro USB for this guy here, and this little guy is well connected. I haven't had any issues with it, but I have heard fables of people's little thing falling off here. Then in addition to that, on the main screen you have your step counter, which is pretty basic. I could probably shake it and get some steps out of it. The bottom you have your heart rate monitor and an actual on-off switch. Exposed little speaker there. Now these guys were not dust or water resistant. That's got sections to read your heart rate and things like that. And then in addition to that, you can actually put your Digimon to sleep whenever, which is a feature of the Vital Bracelet VV and Ford. Oh, if the table's knocking, I'm being visited by a neighborhood cat. Hi, little buddy. Hi, Skittles. But yeah, so he's got a couple of features. In your status, you can view your heart rate, you can view your connection to your Digimon, your steps. You've got your Digimon itself, tells you how many days it's been active, what its different stats are, its win rate, things like that. Trophies. Now, the win rate on these things is interesting, so with the trophies. So you get trophies from doing missions. You could do normal mission, hard mission, and special mission. Special missions I don't think you can get anymore with the shutdown of the original Vital Bracelet app. We also have storage, so you can back up and keep several Digimon on the device, I believe only 2 at a time. They don't affect each other unless you're going to jogress. There's the app link, there's the system options where you can go through, you can change the background, the volume, things like that. Nothing too crazy. Now, I really liked this device. I hopped onto them when they were brand new. Super loved them. The ADV missions were one of my favorite things. So just to show that off for a second. Oh, I've gone clean past it. So the ADV missions, your normal missions were doing little exercises. Your hard missions... Oh no, your hard missions were exercises. What were your normal missions? I haven't used this in a long time. Oh, okay, so your normal mission was your goal for the day. And then your ADV missions were walking missions. Stage 15 was what you could complete, and stage 15 often would lock a powerful Digivolution behind it. So if we activate stage 1 here, you can see we have a walking counter. So then, once we were to reach that 500, it would initiate a battle. The battle is only with Digimon from this DIM card. And then you can see I've got a little screen protector on here that's just honestly made of tape. It's kind of garbage. That's because the graphic was getting eaten by the real screen protector. I did have a piece that went around this made by a gentleman on Etsy named Arod Builds, and it was like a 3D printed piece that went around this. And that's what I'm going to use to segue into the next part here. the size. So this guy here, he's decently bulky on the wrist. You can see he's quite a bit taller. Something like, say, an Apple Watch is probably only about that thick by comparison. So it feels pretty intense, especially with the heart rate monitor, especially with how much the sides are. Now, the casing I had on this probably added about that much to it. So it did get quite thick. Now, in comparison, the Vital Bracelet BE, you can see with the new casing on it for protection, is still not quite as thick. Get you off to the side. So this is the Vital Bracelet BE. So a couple of changes visually. This is actually like a little connected piece now for the DIM cards. No longer something that can just fall out and be lost forever. Same thing over here, you got your 2 flat buttons and you got your DIM card slot. A little bit more reinforced plastic here. One of the biggest changes between the models, I've got armor on mine so it's a little harder to see, is no external power button, and the speakers are now sealed. They made these to be water resistant. They're not waterproof in any way, but when these first came out, a lot of people were saying that they were cooking them working out, like the sweat was getting up and in the speakers and demolishing them, which sucks. Because yes, it's a toy, but it was kind of marketed towards, you know, you're an adult, you and your friends are going out working out, you're working out with your Digimon partner. So it kind of made it hard to do that. Now this guy, I've got a special band on, apologies, because it's a little dirty. This is the Digimon Seekers band that came with the Lugomon DIM, which I love, by the way. Now this armor here is from Zen and TCG, not sponsored in any way, but love it to death. You can sort of see in this one there is a big scratch that's underneath the screen protector, unfortunately. That's from before I got the thing. Now this has done a great job protecting it. You can already see there's some big scratches because I do work a job where it's possibly in danger. I don't wear it as often as I used to as a result of that, but with the case I'm a lot happier wearing it to work. Now let's wake him up here. So some big changes right out the gate. Visually, the font is different. Now, I like both fonts. I like the font on the original a little bit more for just telling the time at a cursory glance, but I like the spacing better. Also like the way they show battery better with the 3-bar system. I don't believe this one had that. Now on this guy here, a couple of major differences. Sound is a little bit quieter. Now from here you have more things. You can see BP, HP, and AP with boosts to them. The main reason those exist is because the missions are different. So you can go into training if you're using a BE DIM card made for this device. The different trainings will affect the different stats. So instead of just earning trophies like the old one, which made your guy more powerful in battles, you can actually affect your stats directly, which is really cool. The only one that doesn't count for is Crunch. Now crunches affect this bottom one here, so that is for Digivolving. So he's at mega level, so I can't really show you, but it'll tell you how many you need and you can scroll through the potential evolutions. Actually, hold on. You can also keep a null character because these can be used with like the Jujutsu Kaisen DIMs. But if I pull out a rookie level here so you can see in full, go into my status. The ranks also change depending on how much you've kind of put into them. But if I get here, you see we don't have anything going on. But now you can see if we wanted Mad Leomon, we'd need to do 12. We'd need to do 8 for Gaugamon. It really kind of opens up the options, and being able to see the Digivolutions was a big upgrade. One of the major differences between the two devices is with the original version, these guys here, and the predecessors to it, the originals. I used a website called Humulos a lot for this, but you could not view what your Digimon was going to become unless you put it into the app. Now, the app was a really cool resource, and the old app was really cool. I'm going to be honest, the new app has gotten better, but I still don't really like it. There's changes that were made that I'm just not a fan of. Hopefully it gets better. And this functions a lot more independently from the app, which I like, whereas this kind of needed that boost for it. Now, ooh, pardon the dirt under my screen. You've got your training options. The adventure options are new. So if you have more than one dim card loaded, which I do, you can actually do the training for the other cards. So I can do the dragon missions even though this is a beast type Digimon, which is pretty sick. If I had Lugamon's dim loaded right now, I'd be able to do those as well. Now you can keep up to 4 characters in here, in addition to your Null and Void guy. Now you can set these to be support. So he is my support right now. So if I do a battle, which I don't know if I can initiate with my phone right now, because we're filming on it. No, I don't think I can. If I were to do a battle on this guy through NFC or through the walking battles, he could summon the support Digimon for help, which has honestly saved me coming in clutch a couple of times. It makes the battling aspect a little more fun and a little bit more, you know, I have a second Digimon backed up and now there's a reason for it. And then we also have, in addition to that, an item feature. So you can get items from battles that you can use here. You can only hold one at a time. There's also the connect feature for connecting to the app, just like the app on this guy. Under system, we have a little bit more. You can reset your heart rate like you could on the original. You got your backgrounds, brightness, all that jazz, your clock, information, so you can actually see what version you're up to. You can reset everything, you can get out. And then there is also, in addition to that, there is now a memory option. You do not have to use this. And a power option, because there is no external power switch. Now, the memory option is something not on this one. You can use it if you want to. Basically, you hit it, you open up your little side slot here, you shove in your dim card, and it loads in a new Digimon. It's not essential, but it is kind of a thing to feel a little bit more amped up for loading. Now, a couple of the big changes through these firmware updates. So this one you couldn't update, but this one you can. Using a micro SD card, you can actually, from the Digimon, I believe Digimon.net website, you can actually load an update onto it and update the firmware on this. So if you're buying one of these for the first time after watching this video and you're like, where is my version 2? You won't have it yet. You will have to update it. I don't have the instructions. They were in Japanese on the website. You could definitely go by those. Or I believe his name's Alex. I believe he's the 9th Digidestined on YouTube, or Digidestined09, something like that. He had a really comprehensive video on how to do it, and that's what I followed to get it done, because I'm not particularly talented with computers, despite the love of Digimon. Now, that being said, for the most part, I really think this device is a huge upscale from this device. You could definitely get one of these if you were just starting, but if you're just starting, you like Digimon, but you also like, I think it's Spy X Family, Boku no Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, any of that, get the BE. You can get Digimon and non-Digimon BEs. Doesn't super matter which one you get, I believe, because you can use the dim cards on both. So that's kind of a neat feature. Now, the app is one of the biggest differences with these. Using the app has changed how these function quite dramatically. So on our original friend here, his version of the app was the Digimon Vital Bracelet app. VB Lab, I think it was called, from Bandai. It was a good app. It had a comprehensive codex. In addition to the codex, there were like global raids you could do and event raids. Like around Halloween, there was a Pumpkinmon you could fight through these, which was really cool. And like he'd throw candy and stuff, had his own custom animations. These with the new app do not have that. Neither do these with the new app, for that matter. There are global battles that link into things like the Digimon Seekers web novel. But other than that, it's pretty... Oh no, there was a Digimon 02 for the new movie event as well. But for the most part, the app's a bit of a downgrade, but they are working on it. I will give them that. I'm very happy with what they've done with it. I live in Canada, so the load times have been awful for a lot of it, and I've heard that's a common complaint, but they are working on it. Now, overall, if you were to follow my advice for any reason whatsoever and you wanted to pick one of these up for the very first time, for yourself, for a family member, I would go for one of these. Some real simple, fast, and loose reasons. in both of these, you can make your Digimon sleep wherever, but in this one, you always have a null and void guy to back up your Digimon too, so you don't have to have a Digimon out if you're worried about the clock running out or evolution timers. The water resistance is huge. As I said earlier, people were cooking these with their sweat and things like that, so it's a big difference. Another cool thing, this comes with a much larger strap, as you can see. These, I don't know if it was like a culture thing, and maybe like people in Japan on average have smaller wrists, but for me, I was wearing this on a pretty loose setting, like down in this region. I don't have big wrists. This one has a lot more space, which is nice. You could buy other bands for these, but it's an additional cost, whereas with this one, like, it comes with the bigger band right out the gate. Other cooler things, there were only a few color variants of this. I believe you could get the original Pulsemon green, the white, the black, and this, the blue, which is for the version V. With this one, you can get the, like, kind of pink-toned red, which is the Digimon Ghost Game version. You can get just the band here, which I have, which is the Digimon Seekers one. The one it came with is black, but there's multiple versions of these, like there's one coming out for a show I don't watch, and I think it's by X Family, and it's beautiful, and it's neon green, and it also affects what the buttons are like on the side. Same with this one. That's why we have a blue cap on this one. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Now, I really love these devices. I have worn both of these for almost every day since they came out, but with my job being a little bit more hands-on, and with my other job working with animals, I don't wear them as often as I used to, just because of the kind of risk posed to the device. Because yes, they're toys, but it was still like $100 to get this thing to Canada and purchased and all that. Again, if you're a Canadian looking for that sort of thing, I got this guy from Japan You Want originally, and this guy from Zenin TCG. Zenin's been awesome, Japan You Want's been awesome. They're both great companies to get things to if you live up in Canada and you don't understand how to use a proxy like me. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about these devices if you've got them, or if you're just getting one, let me know how you're liking it. Anywho though, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye!